Imagine a country that sits on over 37 billion barrels of crude oil reserves, yet keeps losing billions every year through theft, inefficiency, and missed opportunities. That country is Nigeria. The big question is, how can the giant of Africa stop bleeding and finally turn its oil wealth into real prosperity? Nigeria's oil paradox. Nigeria is Africa's largest oil producer, but instead of enjoying stability and wealth, the country has struggled with declining revenues, theft, poor infrastructure, and heavy dependence on oil exports. According to industry reports, Nigeria loses hundreds of thousands of barrels of crude daily to theft and leakages. At the same time, global demand for fossil fuels is shifting, making the need for reforms more urgent. So, how can Nigeria resolve its oil industry losses? Let's break it down into 6 key areas. 1. Curbing oil theft and pipeline vandalism. One of Nigeria's most crippling challenges is oil theft. Estimates suggest the country loses up to 200,000 barrels of crude per day to illegal bunkering, vandalism, and pipeline tapping. This is not just lost revenue, but also damage to infrastructure and the environment. Possible solutions. Technology surveillance. Deploy drones, satellite monitoring, and Internet of Things sensors to track pipelines in real time. Community policing. Involve host communities in safeguarding oil assets, offering them royalties or direct incentives. Stronger security forces. Establish a specialized oil and gas protection unit trained to monitor pipelines and crack down on black market cartels. Legal reforms. Fast-track trials of oil thieves with stiffer penalties and public transparency on prosecutions. 2. Reviving Nigeria's refineries and local processing. A shocking paradox, Nigeria exports crude but imports most of its refined petroleum products, a cycle that drains foreign reserves. Billions of dollars are spent annually on fuel imports and subsidies. Possible solutions. Refinery rehabilitation. Prioritize the repair and full operation of Nigeria's state-owned refineries in Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna. Private sector participation. Encourage investments like the Dangote refinery and foster competition to ensure efficiency. Public-private partnerships. Government can lease refineries to private managers while retaining oversight. Modular refineries. Support smaller modular refineries that can quickly boost local refining capacity. By refining oil locally, Nigeria can save foreign exchange, create jobs, and add value before exporting. 3. Transparency and accountability in oil revenue. The oil sector has long been plagued by opaque transactions and corruption. Billions in revenue vanish into untraceable accounts, weakening public trust. Possible solutions. Full implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act. This reform law should be enforced without political interference. Open contracting. Publish all oil contracts and revenue figures online for public scrutiny. Stronger institutions. Empower agencies like the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NIDI, to audit and publish findings regularly. Digital payment systems. Adopt blockchain-based or automated revenue tracking to reduce leakages. 4. Diversifying export markets and products. Nigeria depends too heavily on crude exports, especially to a few markets like the United States and Europe. As global demand shifts toward renewable energy, Nigeria risks being left behind. Possible solutions. Expand to Asian markets. Strengthen crude trade with India, China, and emerging economies. Gas utilization. Nigeria holds the world's 9th largest natural gas reserves. Expanding LNG exports could surpass crude in future revenue. Petrochemicals and byproducts. Encourage industries that convert crude into plastics, fertilizers, and other goods. Regional integration. Supply refined products and gas to African neighbors, positioning Nigeria as a regional energy hub. 6. Strengthening local content and workforce. Despite being a major producer, Nigeria often outsources much of the oil industry's technical and financial operations to foreign firms. This limits the local benefits of the industry. Possible solutions. Local content laws. Enforce policies that mandate a higher share of Nigerian firms and professionals in oil projects. Skill development. Invest in training engineers, geologists, and technicians through universities and vocational centers. Support for SMEs. Encourage local businesses to supply goods and services to oil companies. Technology transfer. Require foreign firms to partner with local companies and share technical knowledge. 6. Preparing for the post-oil future. The world is shifting toward renewable energy. Electric cars, wind, and solar are gradually eating into oil demand. If Nigeria does not adapt, its economy may face an even bigger shock in the coming decades. Possible solutions. Invest oil revenues wisely. Channel today's oil income into renewable projects, infrastructure, and education. Develop gas as transition fuel. Natural gas is cleaner and more acceptable during the energy transition. National Energy Mix Plan. Combine solar, wind, hydro, and gas with oil for a balanced future. Sovereign Wealth Fund. Strengthen Nigeria's savings fund to invest oil profits for long-term stability. The role of policy and leadership. To solve its oil industry losses, Nigeria needs not just policies, but political will. Reforms must be insulated from corruption, tribal interests, and election cycles. Transparency, merit-based leadership in oil agencies, and strong anti-corruption enforcement are crucial. What success would look like? If Nigeria successfully implements these measures, here's what could happen in the next decade. Daily crude losses reduced to near zero, functioning refineries supplying domestic demand, oil revenues doubling due to efficient production and diverse markets, millions of new jobs in refining, petrochemicals, and gas industries. Nigeria positioned as Africa's energy leader, even in a renewable-driven world. Final thoughts. Nigeria's oil story does not have to be one of endless losses. The country has the reserves, the human capital, and the potential to turn oil into a foundation for lasting prosperity. But it requires courage, reforms, and accountability. The time to act is now, before the wells run dry and the world fully moves on. Nigeria can either remain trapped in the paradox of oil wealth and poverty, or seize the opportunity to rewrite its future.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this update and want to stay informed with fast, reliable news, don't forget to subscribe to Newsflash 360. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. Your next headline is just seconds away.